Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Today, we would like to present on our group project presentation ITT 633. Introduction. What is cybersecurity? There are several definitions of cybersecurity that can be referred to. Cybersecurity could be referred to as a protection measurement taken against an intruder or any unauthorized access. Besides that, cybersecurity also can be defined as a process of protecting and defending the information containing in the communication and system to prevent any damage, exploitation, or modification. It also acts as a guard toward the malicious distribution. Cybersecurity also reduces the malicious attack toward the software, computer, and networks using tools in detecting the break-in virus and malicious access. Cybersecurity has become the most recent issue nowadays due to the increasing data transmission over the internet. The internet has become a place for everyone in exchanging data and information. Reported that 88.7% of Malaysian population in the year 2020 is the internet user. In year 2021, internet user in Malaysia has increased to 27.43 million out of 32.57 million population. Providing the internet is the major place for most individuals as the internet is an easier place for exchanging information. Internet is useful and helpful in an individual life. Aside from exchanging information, more knowledge could be discovered through the internet. However, the awareness of cybersecurity among the society is being low. Reported that there are 8,366 cybercrime incidents from January to September 2020. According to MCMC, internet fraud has increased 5.9% from 2017 with 17.7% to 23.6% in the year 2020. The increment of data exchanging stimulate increases the cybercrime. What is internet fraud? Internet fraud, or simply called cybercrime, is defined as a crime committed on the internet using the computer. It involves both devices like computer and individual behind the device, whether as a threat actor or a victim. We will analyze and identify the security challenges that the organization face in transmitting the information over the internet. The organization that has been chosen and examined is Telekom Malaysia. Company background. Telekom Malaysia Berhad (TM) is an organization providing a comprehensive range of communication, service and solution for broadband, data, cloud, ICT and Wi-Fi. TM remain committed to expand its network with a comprehensive digital infrastructure as it moves beyond connectivity service into a new value-added digital service to serve a more digital lifestyle and society towards making life and business easier for a better Malaysia. There are several different segments of TM business such as retail business, wholesale business and global business which perform different tasks. First, retail business is to provide the communication solution of voice, internet and multimedia services to the small until the medium business. Next, for the wholesale business, it delivers the telecommunication service to another licensed network operator, while global business involves the telecommunication range of inbound and outbound service as well as the business division. Telekom Malaysia, or was known as Jabatan Telekom Malaysia (JTM), has successfully produced and introduced a very own Malaysia data network of packet switch technology in year 1984. Many new services has been produced such as ISDN, video conference and Centrex. Also, digital TM Touch cellular service. Through the year, Telekom Malaysia has also introduced and established many data communication to the country such as broadband, Streamix and Unify. Launched Unify in year 2011 and has recorded 100,000 subscribers. According to the Google reported in 2012, Malaysia is the one of the slowest country for loading web page computer with an average of 14.3 seconds. Once Unify has been rolled out, it has a broken record for being the fast high-speed fiber network. Wi-Fi is a short form of Universal Wi-Fi is a broadband service that implements fiber optic in delivering high-speed internet to the customer. Since Telekom is providing the country the data communication, there is no way that the organization could avoid any cybercrime threat and risk as it is the main place in keeping the information of every user. As for now, the attack that Telekom Malaysia has encountered referring to the latest attack include clown, phishing and insider attack. Clown attack is often used in company to connect and access the same information. Next, phishing attack is easier attack to be done in obtaining information. Last but not least, insider attack an attack that does not require difficult implementation in discovering the information. Following TM privacy policy, it said that the customer confidential information will be protected with high standard. TM has officially signed with the Telefonica Touch. Telefonica Touch will be helping TM to further develop and implement a cybersecurity in the Malaysian market, also helping to strengthen the cybersecurity.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. My name is Az-zarith Huda binti SAMSUDDIN and today I'll be presenting regarding cloud attack. Before we move further into cloud attack, let me explain first what is cloud. So cloud allows organizations to store information and also access the resources. It is a common place for both personal and also professional use. User can connect and access the same information without the need to maintain a hardware service. Because everything is on the cloud, we can access them anywhere we are using any device that we have. So it provides a streamlined technology where it helps organizations to operate their business in a more simpler way. As we can see here, this is the diagram of comparison of technology installation. The before is the traditional IT installation and the after is the IT implementation over the cloud. And we could say that when we implement it over the cloud, the requirements for the network could be lessened. For example, the application license and also the maintenance and IT support. All of this software and hardware and infrastructure owned and managed by the cloud provider. And not to forget, the cloud also allows users to store the information and access the resources later, which provides a really good flexibility and also availability. We must be wondering what are the reasons for this cloud implementation, especially to a company or an organization. So there are three reasons that I'm going to highlight here. The first one is cost reduction, where we only need to pay for the services that is used. So this is very cost friendly. And the second one is flexibility, where it enables the user to share information over the internet aside from their workplace. As I've mentioned before, we can do it anywhere because it is on the cloud. And the third one is the agility, where the organization is allowed to answer the customer faster despite the situation that they face. And now we are moving into cloud attack. So we will start off with types of cloud attack. There are four common types of cloud attack, which is wrapping attack, malware injection attack, man in the cloud attack, and also denial of service attack, or we call it as DOS attack. So all of these attacks are going to be explained further afterwards. Man in the cloud attack. This is the one of the common cloud attack where the attacker targets file storage and file synchronized cloud application. They obtain the file in various ways such as account sharing and also credential swapping. The attacker can view and share the victim account through account sharing, and also enable the actor to access and modify all of the files. So for example, as the shown diagram here, this is the credential swapping, where the attacker creates a script to reproduce a victim Dropbox authentication file and forward them to the attacker device. This results in the victim uploading their file to the Dropbox, thinking that it is their account, but it is actually not. Denial of service, or we call as DOS attack. This happens when web server is flooded with HTTP requests and SYN requests. It is done by sending the IP protocol like UDP, TCP, or HTTP requests to the victim server non-stop. And to do this, there is an open source tool that can be used to perform DOS attack. So DOS attack exploits the TCP IP three-way handshake, which is used to establish the sender to receiver connection. Threat actor will create a spoof IP address to be used in sending the SYN packets. The sent SYN packets will fill the buffer queue, which is simultaneously used both for cloud server memory and also resources. And this will lead to a server crash or hang. Malware injection. This happens when attacker inject a malicious code into the server. The main motive is to transfer or copy the victim information. As we are talking about cloud, the common injection into cloud server is SQL injection and cross-site scripting (XSS) attacks. If this malware injection success, the threat actor can gain a control over the victim system. For example, a threat actor using SQL injection. If it's success, then the threat actor can discover the user login data and also gaining the access to the backend database. Wrapping attack. This attack employs XML signature wrapping or XML rewriting in utilizing the web server weakness of validating the request. The utilizing process is carried out during message translation. A wrapper is embedded into the duplicate information structure while the original message is moved under the wrapper. But before that, wrapper is the victim login credential that the threat actor already duplicate to embed the bogus. So this will result in replacing the original content with malicious code, which is then sent to the server. On the victim side, the message received is already altered message, but the victim still believes that that is the original message, as the body of the message is still the same, it is not changed. This is the related scenario regarding cloud attack that involve Telekom Malaysia (TM). So there are news saying that China hackers have compromised telcos in several countries, including Malaysia. But then TM says that their system are operating normally. So the attempt was basically a failed attempt. This is due to the tight and strong security that TM have, where the system is monitored to detect any malicious activity and also to mitigate any risk. This is done to ensure that the information is disclosed and also protected from any intruder.
Another attack involved in the organization selected is phishing attack. Phishing attack is a method of attack that stores another identity and a form of social engineering whereby it involves both attacker and the user. The attacker is often referred to fisher while the user is referred as victim. Referring to the figure provided, we could see that the first step of phishing attack is where the attacker sends an email to the victim. Along with the email, there are a link embedded in it. If the link is clicked and opened, usually it will direct the victim to the website of a trusted organization. Unknowingly, the website is only an imitation website. The website will ask the victim to provide their credential login. Usually along the email, it will state that the victim account is being attempted to open by someone else, and therefore, in hope to protect their account, the victim will provide the website with their credential login, and unknowingly the credential is being saved by the fisher and will be used by them to open the website. Also, according to the articles, 53% of the articles has admitted that the individual tend to use the same login credential in multiple different accounts. That's happened to me too without any doubt, because it is easier to remember the credential and easier to access the account compared to using different login credential, because we tend to forget if we use a different login credential. However, as much as we could, uh, please prevent and avoid from using similar credential within multiple accounts. There are several phishing types, such as 1. Clone phishing, 2. And 3. Spear phishing, which each of these types occur quite often among society. First, cloning phishing is where the website is being cloned or imitated by the attacker. By all means, the interface of the clone phishing will be exactly as the original website. The link of the clone website will then be embedded into an email saying that the victim has to update their account or has to change their password because there is someone else trying to access their account, or because the update regulation. Although it will be exactly the same as original website, but still there will be a slight small differences in the clone website that is worth finding for. Another type is phone phishing that is quite common occurring among the society. It is a technique where the victim receives a call or a message regarding a financial issue, admitting that they are from a trusted organization. It will usually be like, hello, we are from Raya has received an attempt of logging from somewhere else, and then proceed asking for login credential of the victim in hope for the victim to change and protect the account, when exactly the attacker will be using the credential for themselves. While spear phishing, or known as whaling, is a phishing attack that is targeting a high-level group of organizations, such as the image provided. Both are occurring through email. In this context, phishing attack can occur where the victim can be an employee and the attacker can be an individual, or the victim can be an individual while the attacker can be someone disguising themselves as someone from the organization. Both incidents shown in the slides are an individual as victim and the attacker admitting themselves as an employee from trusted organization. The first incident is quite popular among society. It is known as scam or post laju to police scam. Easily, it can be detected if the victim is aware about phishing, because this trick has been used quite often, whereby there will be an individual disguising themselves as post laju, wanting to send a parcel. However, there was mistake occurring in the parcel that could lead to the police station, and unknowingly it could be close to real by the way they act the situation. So I hope everyone could be really careful in answering the phone about the parcel, because undoubtedly we also tend to buy lots of online stuff. So of course there will be quite many parcel. Also the information on the parcel is in some way could be at harm. But let's trust the workers with their work without using the information in the parcel in wrong way, because as we could see, both incident give a huge impact to the individual financial. So it can be really dangerous unknowingly.
Next is insider attack. An insider is a person who has legitimate access to an organization's personnel, facilities, and information access. Insider include a person in charge of transfer, takeovers, as well as commissioned researchers who are given access to internal information.
in compliance with rules and regulations. Insider also those who are under certain circumstance that has access to the information within the firm. There are three types of insider trade, which are compromised insider, careless insider, and malicious insider. For malicious insider, the attacker can take any shape or form, which is they are usually have a legitimate user access to the system and will fully extract the data or the intellectual property. Since they are involved with the attack, they also can cover up their tracks so that they make the detection even more difficult. Okay, the second one is compromised insider. Okay, for the compromised insider, is the most important type of insider trade because this one employee they doesn't know that they are compromised, so that it can happen if an employee grant access to an attacker by clicking on a phishing link in an email. These are the most common type of insider trades. Okay, the third one is careless insider. For the careless insider, employees or vendor can become the target of attackers. Okay, leaving a computer or terminal unlocked for a few minutes, it can be enough for attackers to gain the access. Okay, by granting the database administrator permission to regular user, or worse, or using software system accounts to do IT works, there are also examples of careless insider trades. Okay, this one is for this related scenario for insider attacks. Okay, on 2014, there are a data breach reported on popular internet forum and magazine like Lloyd.net, whereas the data has been forcibly sold for a long time. Okay, followed by another news in 2016 that involving personal details of Malaysians organ donors. Meanwhile, in 2017, reported that there are a consumer information leakage, which was a very first time data leakage involving consumer occur. Mentioned that the leaked personal information was taken on jobstreet.com and several other websites, which then they sold it to Bitcoin's website. There is no further information regarding the provided information besides alerting the telecommunication service to be careful in handling about consumer information.
The methodology of cloud attack. So for this part, we will focusing more on denial of service attack, or we call as DOS attack, as it is the most common cloud attack that happen. DOS attack is done to attract the client attention for the threat actor to perform another attack in gathering the information. There are several attacks involving DOS, such as UDP or TCP flooding, and also smooth attack. The main purpose is to downgrade the availability of the system, a part of diverting the attention from the cloud server. For example, while the DOS attack is happening, the threat actor is performing another attack, such as injection of malware into the system. The figure that is shown here is the scenario of three-way handshake. So first and foremost, client will send a SYN message to the server. Then the server will reply with an acknowledgement to indicate that the server has received the SYN message and also to indicate that a connection has been established. Then the server will wait for acknowledgement message from the client. At this moment, the connection is called as half-open connection, where the attack will occur by the attacker sending a bulk of messages or packets. Although half-open connection has a duration limit, threat actors still able to send plentiful of packets. That will result in a congestion. When congestion happens, the legitimate client or any user are no longer able to use the service. This is the denial of service attack DOS attack scenario, where an attacker bombs the victim web server with HTTP requests that will result in congestion. When congestion happens, any legitimate request from the user can't get through and it will fail.
Overall, this is how phishing attack is done to the victim. As we could see, first the attacker sent an email containing a link to the clone website. Of course, the clone website will be a website that is trusted, such as bank, Telekom Malaysia, or even social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Once the victim has received the email and click on the link provided, the victim will then lead to the site because the email might be saying that the victim has to change or update their login credential on that provided website. Therefore, at the clone website, the victim will be filling the login form with their actual credential. While the victim is changing the credential, the attacker is collecting the victim credential and use the actual credential on the actual legitimate website without the victim knowing their credential is being used by another person in accessing their account. This is the COVID-19 breakout timeline for extra knowledge. Before going through another information about phishing, generally COVID-19 in Malaysia begin with 3 Chinese person who is travelling to Malaysia through Singapore and on January. Therefore, the actual first case in Malaysia is actually involving a Chinese person. Only until February, only then a first Malaysian male is tested positive. Unknowingly, one case led to another, resulting in 1,000 cases on April 2020. And also, unknowingly, both students and employee has to do everything at home, from working to studying. Even until today, we got less opportunity to enjoy working and studying at the university for student and office for the employee. Of course, there are pros and cons for what is happening. However, because of the sudden breakout of pandemic, which most of employees are told to work at home on 2020, it was stated that the cyber risk has increased. And one of the factor is being lack of cybersecurity awareness because of course no one is prepared for the pandemic and to work and to access every data and information through online, digitally accessing everything. And unfortunately, giving the opportunity to the attacker. And from my honest opinion, cybersecurity should always be a top priority because it involves an information that should be protected whether we are at office or university or even at home. We should always aware about cybersecurity despite of our well-being, despite being wherever we are, because even losing the smallest information could already putting ourselves at harm. Yes, one information could lead to another information. So it is best practice to always aware about cybersecurity. The impact of phishing attack to the organization involving both direct and indirect loss. Direct loss is where the organization has to go through a damage done by the phishing attack, such as monetary costs, recovery costs, long-term costs, and identity theft. Without any doubt, of course, once the information is being stolen, the identity of the individual, whether the employee or the consumer, is no longer safe, and the chances of the identity to be used by another person is quite high, because usually it will be sell on the dark web, dark site. I'm not pretty sure. And each of the damage, if we could see, most of the damage required money for the organization to go back to before, and to restore and update the whole system, and to repay the consumer, because the fact that the only employee information is being stolen is already on the line and kind of pretty dangerous. What's more about consumer, right? So many things for the organization to repay and to restore quiet almost everything, and hopefully this this phishing attack or any attack would not occur to just anyone or even the organization. Hopefully. While for indirect loss, the organization may take few months or even years to feel the loss, which involve defense costs, less trust from customer, which then led to reputation damage and inconvenience, which I'm not pretty sure, but I assume inconvenience mean any individual from outside organization or others organization would not have any relation with the organization, or might, as much as possible, avoid from having any relation with the organization, because they could not protect the information, their both individual and employee information. So others individual might find it inconvenient to have a particular relationship with the organization, which who cannot who cannot protect their information from outsiders. So
Okay, for the methodology of the insider attacks, as we know as insider threat or attack is a malicious threat to an organization itself that come from people within the organization who has the inside information concerning the organization's security practice, data and computer system. Okay, for detecting insider attacks seem very possible, which is there are some signs that are very easy to spot and take care on. Okay, there are some common indicator of insider attacks. There are unexplained financial gains, abuse by service accounts, multiple fail login, and incorrect software access requests, and large data or file that transferred by the employee. Okay, by using system or tools, that tool for this item can help raise the alarm for the attacks. While regular endpoint scan, which daily scan, will ensure that workstation will stay clean from the virus and the malware. Okay, these are the most common attacks that have been done by the insider attacker. Okay, they are easily modify or stealing the confidential or sensitive data, informations for their personal use. Besides that, the insider also might steal or treat secrets of customer details for the purpose to gain personal income by selling the information towards the outsider of the organization. Okay, other than that, the insider also tend to sabotage their organization in terms of data, system, or the networks itself.
Conclusion: cybersecurity is an endless struggle. Soon, there will be no permanent, conclusive answer to this situation. Most of the cybersecurity concerns arise from the inherent nature of IT, complex IT system, and human error. Many cybercrimes are enabled by data collection, storage, analysis, and sharing without user-informed knowledge. As a result, to safety guard against cybercrime, security measures that protect data and user privacy are required. The funding of cybersecurity research has increased dramatically, and there is more public awareness now than before. Without this initiative, the gap between cybersecurity posture and danger could be very certainly to be much wider than it is now. I think that's all from us. Thank you.